In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Howdy and welcome everyone to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm Netor Licanto, and we're going to stray a little bit from our typical topics of business issues for what I think is a very, very important issue, particularly in this holiday season of this particular pandemic year. And we've got two very special guests that are able to talk us through what I think is the perfect storm of the worst pandemic of modern times, the resulting holiday blues and how those are impacted from the typical holiday blues that we always normally see during this time of year, plus all the financial and other economic stress that the pandemic has wrought. And so let me first of all introduce both from the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, Dr. Mary Fergurgur and Dr. KristiAnna Whitman. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. Dr. Fergurgur, let me just start with you, just to set the table, sort of, so to speak. Could you explain, first of all, let's talk about the holiday blues. What is that exactly in psychological terms? And also, how are those, do you think, will be exacerbated because of the pandemic? If you could start us off.
Okay, so holiday blues is actually known as seasonal depression. And that is when you're feeling a little bit more tired, sadness, you might have periods of crying, trouble concentrating. So it's not really necessarily a full-blown depression, but it's called seasonal depression. About 14% of all Americans would experience this winter blues. And so why do we see this usually? It's because Christmas and New Year's, there's additional challenges and obligations that happen with the holidays. Then, of course, there's a higher level of stress. So prior to COVID, people are going to the malls, shopping, buying things, trying to get things ready for the families. There are more females than males who would be diagnosed with holiday blues or seasonal depression. And that's because moms and grandmas are the ones that are kind of culturally expected to make Christmas special for everybody. I predict we're going to see an increase of our holiday blues and depression as we start the 2020 Christmas season. And that's because of two things that we've all been going through. One of them is cumulative stress. The last 9 months, we've had to deal with a lot of loss. We've not attended church, graduation, weddings, and funerals. We've had to work online, help our kids online, travel plans. If you had some kind of summer vacation canceled, people have lost their jobs. Money is tight. Other people switching to the new online format. You know what? Some people are saying can't do it. Can't do these new job obligations. People are retiring. Other people have actually lost their jobs. The second thing that's going on as we go into the Christmas holidays with coronavirus is the whole world, we have collective loss. And the world is not the way that it used to be. And normal routines and rhythms are no longer in existence. And we've all had to adjust to a new normal. So that's what it means by winter blues or seasonal depression.
Yeah, Dr. Whitman, is there anything you have to add to this whole concept of holiday blues, and particularly how the pandemic has kind of exacerbated that?
Yeah, Dr. Fergurgur gave a really good, comprehensive explanation. I think that any person can, especially right now, can relate with. I guess I do want to just add really briefly is that I attended, because this isn't something that's just happening locally, as Dr. Fergurgur said, this is a global issue, and I attended a webinar earlier this week regarding mood management, specifically during the holidays and during this holiday season. And what the presenter shared, was that actually by, if we think about Catholicism and Christmas, right, on Guam specifically, because we're dominantly a Christian population. But if you look at from November up until the end of the year, there's about 15 different, I think she counted, religious, holidays across different groups. But if we think locally, you look at All Souls Day, which we, essentially had canceled. We're thinking about December 8th in Santa Maria and Comelin, and that how that's looking. And so I guess, even from a local standpoint, there's just so much grief that we're experiencing as a community in terms of that cumulative loss.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about coping. How do people deal with it, Dr. Fergurgur?
Well, one of the things that I'm going to recommend for people is that be open to new traditions. Maybe change how we used to do the Christmas holidays. We've been doing for 36 years the Novena to the Christ Child. This year it's going to look a little bit different. We got the Lumut, but guess what? Everybody is not going to come to our house. I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to set up a Zoom meeting as we try to do the Novena. So open up to new traditions. The other thing is maybe start new traditions, start something new and different. The second thing is for those of us who are grandparents and in our 60s, not having contact with our grandkids, not having contact with our loved ones is extremely hard for us because we're home alone. Spend time with your loved ones as much as possible. You can actually use the landline to talk to people. There's a landline right now.
I'm cue.
Call
Wow.
us.
Was that planned?
That's never happened in all my career in TV. But it's perfect timing. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt you.
Right there. Call people. Call your mom. The thing, I overheard. I was standing in line at Payless waiting to go shopping, right, on Thanksgiving, and I overheard people talking, and they said, "Oh, well, this year we're not buying Christmas outfits." You know what? If you have the money and it's part of your family tradition that you buy a Christmas outfit, you know what? Buy a Christmas outfit or do something. Wear a red dress, whatever you need to do. But try to keep the regular things, the traditions and values that you have. Try to do it, at least do it for the kids. The other thing I was going to say is do something for fun. People are putting up Christmas decorations. Get in the car, drive around, go to the different villages, and look at how people are decorating for Christmas. And I don't know if you have any other suggestions, Dr. Whitman.
Yeah, one of the things that I really appreciated, I think it's kind of a nice parallel. Dr. Fergurgur has, is dealing with kind of the empty nesting, and I'm starting traditions with my 1-year-old son. So it's interesting to see how we are, pivoting. But I've been really appreciative of the creativity of the community. Some of these fundraisers, they're holding virtual fundraisers and giving out boxes of things with like card making kits or gingerbread houses and things to kind of do at home and spend time with each other. I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed or suggestions that I've come across is just don't underestimate the power of emotional closeness right now. If you don't have the means to provide gifts, or what you're normally used to doing, then time, like Dr. Mary said, picking up the phone to call someone can be just as meaningful as sending them a gift right now. A lot of people just really are craving that emotional connection. And so making that space for those types of emotional connections and not necessarily feeling like you need to overcompensate or do the same things you've been doing every single year or in years past would probably be a good coping technique. I mean, I would suggest, and I'm trying to kind of even remind myself about that I can't set the same expectations for myself and for those around me when we're in a very different space than we have been in the last years.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Yeah, I think you're right. Managing expectations is an important part of coping, but I think a lot of people will find it difficult to really adopt a more positive attitude, especially heading into the increased uncertainties that the financial insecurity pose. So, do you guys have any tips or suggestions or recommendations or thoughts on trying to maintain a positive attitude or developing a more positive attitude, Dr. Mary?
Yeah, one of the things that I'm suggesting is view yourself as a survivor. You're a part of history right now. You survived the pandemic. The other thing is I love this quote from Hillary Clinton. She said it early on in the pandemic. She said, it shouldn't take a pandemic for you to decide, wait a minute, I've always wanted to go to grad school or law school. I've always wanted to plant a vegetable garden. I always wanted to tell a coworker how much I've appreciated her, that she always brings me water on Wednesday. So it shouldn't take a pandemic for whatever it is. Answer that question. That will help you as you prepare for 2021. And the other one is to practice gratefulness. Every day, get up and go, today I feel blessed that somebody called me. But anyway, so practice gratitude as well.
And
I can add to that, because I think what you said, it's kind of a realization and recognition that, we don't want to always force ourselves to be positive, right? Or overly optimistic. And that's okay too. Right. And part of like mindfulness and, being present in the moment is recognizing that, it's been a really rough year. It's been tough. And like Dr. Mary said, we're all surviving it and we're here and we're trying to make do with what we have. And so I think, making space for that again, inviting and accepting those honest feelings and that feeling of grief, but also not letting it drive you down into feelings of despair, I guess. And also knowing that if you are in that space, then there are resources to help you, for people to, help bring you up. And that's okay too. And I think what we found during this pandemic is that there has been more of an openness for people seeking assistance and, whether it's professional help or additional support. And I don't know if it's because we've made if the community is just more prepared to discuss these issues, or because people are at home and really just, are needing that connection, or, I'm not sure what it is, but there definitely is a platform like this one that we're having right now where people are open to talking about difficult feelings and the struggles that they're going through. So I think as a community, if we're able to leverage that and really maximize the amount of supports that are available, because there's so many people. I think that's one of my, whenever I think of my COVID silver linings, I like to think about the amount of people who are just so willing to help, Giving Tuesday was this week, and I know KUAM was one of the big leaders in that promotion and in the local efforts here. And so it's just such a beautiful thing to see that, even in the midst of all this uncertainty, that people are still like out there doing what they can to help others. And I think if there's nothing else that you can kind of see in terms of like gratitude for yourself, it's that, looking around you and seeing that there's other people who are trying to bring spirits up and make people brighter. So
you mentioned struggling, and I wanted to move into the children. I think this is a particularly difficult time for children, especially younger children. So as a parent or grandparent of younger children, how do you help them cope? Because they're used to being able to go out, talk to their friends, be with their friends, play, go out if they're teens and that sort of thing. And they're not really able to do that in this pandemic, and they haven't been able to do it for for the last 9 months or so. So how do you help them deal with this during the holiday season, especially? Whoever wants to jump in, go ahead.
Maybe I could start, and then Dr. Mary could add to it if she has some other things. But I guess I would say is really, one of the things that I'm always encouraging people, to do is have these open conversations, right? So if again, the same way I'm asking, everyone to manage their grief, we need to also ask the same thing about the kids that we're, overseeing or parenting or taking care of or working with, and asking them how they're feeling, what's going on with them, and being open and really recognizing that this is a difficult time for them, and for them to be, managing online schooling and, lack of friendships or, physical friendships. That's really tough. And for them to be getting through it, I look at some of my nieces and nephews who are thriving right now, in terms of, we were just talking about college. I have a goddaughter, a senior in high school, and she's, just getting her acceptance letters from colleges. And it's just so exciting that she's still has hope, at the end of all this, and still trying to go to school and, leave Island for a while and all this good stuff. But I think having those open conversations is going to be really important, and allowing them to be part of, like, we're talking about traditions and holiday traditions. They have their own expectations of what the holidays have looked like for them. Make them be a part of deciding how they want it to look this year. If they don't want to do a Christmas tree because that reminds them too much of, holidays past, then what would they like to do? If they don't want to have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, then let's order sushi. I don't know, whatever it is, like, let them be a part of planning for this time and how they would like to do it. Maybe they just want to indulge in a Netflix series over Christmas Day and not see anyone else. I'm not sure, but I think that's also one of the things, we want to think about is how can they be a part of whatever this new normal is for you this year, and allowing them or empowering them to make those decisions also.
Dr. Mary?
One of the things that I find with our grandchildren is what we're kind of doing is they seem very interested in grandma, grandpa, great grandma, things like that. So we're kind of putting together a story and talking about stories. So we're pulling out the photo album, the phone, and looking at Christmases of past things that we used to do in the past. And then we're also talking about, what would be happening next year. So acknowledging what Dr. Whitman is saying is acknowledging that it's been a difficult year, but then helping them maybe process some of those things, but then focus on the future. So telling the story of the family. What did grandpa used to do? Great grandpa used to do? Things like that. What was the Christmases in the past? One of the things that we've done as a family is every year we've bought a Christmas ornament for that year, and it kind of symbolizes how our family, the Fergurgur family, saw the year going, and so we have that. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is, even virtually, is we're going to be creating 2020 Christmas ornament, and the kids can make it be whatever they want it to be. And we're going to put that on the tree. We're going to decorate our tree with 2020 ornaments, along with our other 41 years of other stuff. But we're going to be making Christmas ornaments, and what is it meant for me? And then what are we going to do for 2021? What do we hope for? Our family is hoping basketball back up.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Sorry to kind of shift this to a more serious and darker topic, but you guys both deal with this in your work at GHBWC. But depression and suicide, that's, I guess, heightened risks during this particular time of the year. Dr. Mary, you want to speak on that?
One of the things we would like the community to know that Guam Behavioral Health is open 24 hours. We are here for you. We have the crisis hotline. My mind just went blank. Is it 647-883?
33. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, my mind. Senior moment. 647-8833. We are open 24 hours. We have people who you can talk to if you just need somebody to talk to. Dr. Whitman, would you like to go in more detail about some of our suicide prevention programs that we've got going?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is the holiday hotline. We were just talking about this earlier this week, right? Has actually always been running, over the holiday season because of this, right? People get lonely during the holiday season. And they want to talk and they want to connect. And during the pandemic, as Dr. Mary mentioned, Guam Behavioral Health hasn't closed. And we actually stood up and increased the capacity of our hotline. And so there are more people answering the phones, and there has been more people answering the phones since March when the pandemic started. And there will be more people available throughout the holiday season. We're not decreasing our staff or anything like that over the holiday season. So yes, they're definitely prepared to work with you and talk with you through the hotline, and then get you the services you need. If you do need more services, we do encourage people to call, even if they just are a little bit lonely and just need to connect and are having a bad night, or if they just are not feeling like they can connect with anyone else, right? It doesn't mean that they are going to get additional services just by picking up the phone and calling in one time. But at the same time, if you do have a positive experience on the hotline, which we hope people do, and think that additional services might be appropriate, then we can do that, connect with you over the phone. Everything could be done over the phone and get you the services you might need. So yeah, absolutely. So that's one thing. But also we do have increased, well, I guess it's not increased, but we do have suicide prevention training available to the community members. And sometimes when people are in distress or not feeling so good about, the state of the climate of the community, it kind of helps to be a part of change and to be an active participant in making the community better. So if there are members of our community who would like more formal training in suicide prevention, we also have a virtual training that's free and open to the public. And if anyone in the community is wanting to receive this, it takes about an hour and you can do it on your own time. And you can email us at staff@peaceguam.org. And we can get you all settled and doing that. And what that training really prepares people to do is, if your friend or if your family member shows signs of, suicide, or shows just signs of, increased grieving or just, emotional distress, you will be more confident to work with them and get them the additional resources or help that they might need. On Guam, we find that, that's who the people are connecting with, their natural supports. They're not immediately going to the psychologist or the psychiatrist or the counselor. They're going to their neighbor or their priest or their teacher maybe. And so we really want those natural supports to be prepared to hear that person out and be confident about where to go next. So those are kind of two of the most, I guess, vital resources I think that the community can reach out to immediately, our hotline and formal suicide prevention services.
Yeah, if I can ask each of you, what do you think would be the most important thing that you would want people to know and think about during this holiday season? Dr. Mary?
You're not alone. We're all in this together. We've been through many wars. We've been through typhoons. We've been through a lot of this island, and we've survived. We are strong as a coconut tree. We will keep going. And we're here for you.
Yeah.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Yeah. And Dr. Kristi?
Yeah, I do. I love that, really looking at our past and our history to kind of keep us up and keep us going. We have so many symbols that can serve as metaphors for strength in our culture, such as the laddie stone, the coconut tree, there's just, I think our community is so strong. So I guess that, but I think also along with that is that this, the idea of, enough Malik, right? We want, that we're here to take care of each other. And so I think that's what I would want people to continue to think about during this time, is that we're all here to take care of each other.
Okay, we do have a couple of minutes left, so maybe we'll leave this on a more positive note, and give you guys each an opportunity to say a little bit of a positive Christmas message and reminder for the audience today. And let me start with you, Dr. Mary.
Merry Christmas. For all the grandmothers out there that are missing their grandchildren, they're only a hug away virtually, and God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Kristi.
Merry Christmas is, and I think also just, this year, as sad as it has been, it's been just such an opportunity to, I guess, connect and rejuvenate some maybe friendships or relationships that have been lost. I found myself reconnecting with people who I might not have reconnected with because I'm too busy having real life dinners with friends or going out and doing other things. So I think that's I think just kind of remembering that that with all the yucky that has gone on this year, there's been a lot of positive that has also happened, and hopefully we can bring that into 2021 with us.
Well said, both of you. Thank you very much. In this unprecedented year of just crazy times, it's good to hear some reassuring words and some solid advice, and appreciate you both. Dr. Mary Fergurgur and Dr. KristiAnna Whitman, both of the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, thank you for joining us. I'm Netor Licanto. We'll see you again next week on In Full Zoom. Take care, everyone.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.